Alright, so here's the beat that we're going to make today from scratch. So watch this video to the end, and I'm going to show you how you can make a beat like this. Enjoy.
JT.
YouTube, what's up? What's going on? It's JT coming at you from JT Productions 83, and I'm actually really excited right now. I just had a great idea that I was gonna show you guys a video on music production. And if you follow my channel right now, you know pretty much that I'm a musician, singer-songwriter, and put out a lot of music videos and stuff like that. And I just thought about it, like, how much time and effort and hours went into the production of my 4 music albums that I got out. And, I just thought it might be kind of cool because I know there's a lot of people out there that are really trying to, figure out how they can start their music production career. And, I kind of just wanted to let you guys know that you don't have to have $100,000 worth of equipment to be a producer. You can kind of actually, get a decent setup for about $1,000, and even less than that. It depends how in depth you want to take it. With your plugins and your software and all that kind of stuff. But just to make some simple beats, they may not be pro quality. You may have to send them out to somebody that can master them for you. But just to make some simple beats and stuff, if you're just kind of a do-it-yourself producer, you could really get a setup for about probably about $160, to be honest. 200 at the most, I'd say. And that's just enough, to get you started, a little starter kit, and then you can kind of expand your inventory from there. But the big thing is, what do you do when you get all of that equipment, right? It takes a lot of experience. The big thing is you just need to start getting busy. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, kind of like this one right here. So today my goal is to show you some of the equipment that I use, and show you how to make a beat. I don't even know what kind of beat we're going to make. We're just going to make one from scratch. Today I'm going to be using Cubase. That's my go-to software. I know that's unusual. Some of the studios I've been to, they said that that makes me a 4-leaf clover because I use Cubase. A lot of people don't use that program. Everybody's big on Pro Tools and stuff like that, but Cubase is my go-to program. So I'm going to show you guys that, and we're just going to make a beat from scratch. And if you like the video I made today, then please subscribe to my channel, hit like on the video, share it, and then if you have any other things that you want to learn, I would be glad to share some of my knowledge with you. Just leave a comment in the remarks section, and then I'll work with you and do my best to get you some more information or some more videos in the future. And yeah, I'm excited. So a little bit of a background on me. All right, so like I said, I've been doing this for about 19 years. Music's always been a hobby of mine, and I really just have a passion for music. I enjoy production. I've worked with some artists. I've actually scouted some people out, and help them produce some beats, and just help them develop as artists. It's something that I love doing, and I want to continue to do more of. And I remember this one specific time I went to a studio, and I was paying like $100 an hour, and it was frustrating because I feel like I could have done it better myself. To be honest, I was like, man, I could do this better myself. I just need to know how to do it. So I went down to the local store, and actually went to Alpha Music here in Virginia Beach, and said, hey, what do I need to do to get started with this? And he introduced me to a Lexicon Lambda recording interface. And at that time, I had no idea what that meant. So I took his word for it, and I took it home, unboxed it, and then plugged everything in and started watching YouTube videos. And that's how I learned. And then, I finally learned about, sequencing with a MIDI keyboard. So then I was like, cool, I got to learn how to do this. So I went down to Alpha Music, and or not Alpha Music. I went to Guitar Center and bought a Oxygen 49 MIDI keyboard. And it was pretty cheap. I think I paid like $75 for the thing, and I still use it to this day. I love it, and I'll show you what it looks like. But then as my time as a producer kind of expanded, I probably ended up spending about $1,000, maybe a little bit more in software, and then like VST plugins and things like that I use for mixing, editing, mastering, and um, just making my music sound good. So the fine little details that you learn over time that really just make a song pop. So you want to, you may end up paying some money for some VST plugins in the future, but to get started, you don't have to have all of that. I do recommend either getting a good set of headphones or get a good set of studio monitors. I use the KRK Rocket 5s. It works great for me, and they are just great sounding studio monitors. You go to the big expensive recording studios and they're using the KRKs, and they're just a great studio monitor. A little bit pricey, but it's worth it. I promise you. Get you some good monitors. Your music production will never be the same. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started, and I'll show you what I got to work with here, and hopefully I can help you out. All right, so this right here is my go-to MIDI keyboard. It's called the Oxygen 49, and I love it. I absolutely love this MIDI keyboard. So I use that. I'll show you how I get that thing cranking up here in a little bit. And then also go to the KRKs, like I said, the KRK Rocket 5s. I have 2 of those. Let me back up here so you can see my setup. Nothing fancy. I just got this little desk. I think I picked it up at Goodwill or something like that. Paid like $100 for it, and it works well. Something to get your monitors up about head level and just evenly spaced out. And then I got my Akai MPK Mini here. Sometimes I take that with me on the go, and it's got your little drum pads, beat pads here, so that works out really well. But for the most part, like I said, I do most of my beat making right here with this bad boy right here, this Oxygen 49. So and then I have my this light's kind of bright. This is my Lexicon Lambda interface right here, and they have a lot of different models of this. You can get way more upgraded systems. Here in my studio, I don't have a drum kit. I don't really have room for a drum kit, so I kind of just program all my drums, or I can go to the studio, the actual studio, and record some drums there. But for the most part, I can get quality sounding drums right here off my MIDI keyboard, which I can demonstrate for you at another time in another video through plugins. And this right here, I can record one instrument at a time. So I have to go back in and do kind of one track at a time. Some of the other versions of the interfaces, you can really plug in several different instruments at one time. So you just got to figure out what works for you. But this setup right here is great for like if you're a beat maker, you're just really learning the basics of production. This is all you really need. So with that being said, we're going to jump into Cubase. So let me go in here. All right, so all you do is you click on File, and you click on New Project, or you can open an existing project if you already have one you're working on, and then you click Default. That's what I'm going with today, Default. And right here, so this is where you link your microphone, your input, output, and your speakers. So we're going to go with my Lexicon Lambda, input, output, speakers, and there we go. All right, and then from there I got my little production window here, and first things first, you gotta go right over here, and we already created the project. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna click on Project, and we're gonna click Add Track. And for now, we're gonna add an instrument track. All right, and like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I'm doing it the most simple way for you if you're a very new beginner to production. All right, so all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to select my VRT instrument, or excuse me, my VST instrument. And we're going to start with, you can start with your drums or your bass or your synthesizer, whatever you want to do. In this case, we're going to start with my drums. So I'm going to use my Groove Agent 1. And these are VST plugins. So basically, you can download VSTs, and then you load them into your computer. That's kind of complicated too. I can show you how to do that depending what software you use. But for Cubase, it can be a little bit confusing if you're not that computer savvy. But if you need help with that, I can help you. Just reach out. So I'm going to use Groove Agent 1, and we're going to hit Add Track. Bam. All right, and then sometimes what I do is, you know, I'll put a couple different layers. So I'm just going to duplicate tracks 2 or 3 times. Let's say for this purpose, we'll just do 3 tracks. All right, so I can name these, right, if I want to name them. So let's say that track 1, you know, I usually start with my kick. So I'm just going to say kick. We're going to click on it, hit enter, it'll save it. And then we got a kick track. And then we can say hats. We'll say hi-hats right here. And let's say cymbals, right? We'll say cymbals or something like that. And you can go back and change it if you want to. But for now, cymbals. All right, so there we go. That should get us started. So we got kick, hats, and cymbals. All right, and now what happens is when I pull this this VST plugin up, it's going to connect to my MIDI keyboard. Okay, so now all I need to do, let me back up a little bit so you can see here. I'm kind of holding my camera as I do this because I don't have no pro camera stuff or anything like that. So all I do is I click this little box right here, and then it opens up all of my drum kits. So these are all different sounding drum kits. So depending what style of music you want to go to, I got hip hop, you know, I got brush kits, I got chart breakers, so like, you know, just whatever electronic type drum kits, disco, whatever you're into, drum and bass, electro breaks, electronica, whatever you're into is all in here. So for this case, let's say there's rock drum kit in here. For this case, let's go with a I don't know, let's see, we're making this from scratch, so let's go with let's see what this one sounds like. So you click on it, and then it kind of links up to your keyboard here. And for some reason I'm not getting it, so let's see what's going on here. For some reason I'm not getting any sound out of my keyboard. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's try this. Well, let's save this real quick. I'll just save it as in my external file here. We'll save it as JT Productions 2019, and we'll say sample 1. Just to have a spot to save here. So there we go. And let me go ahead and close this out, and we'll come back in. I just want to make sure this thing's working. I'm not really sure why. Guessing it's probably a driver. Maybe my driver didn't connect or something. Sometimes that happens. So let me pull up this Cubase. All right, so this is good. It's good training anyway. So let's say you know, we had to save it, or you came back later or something like that. All you got to do now is go right up here to File. It's hard to see it. File right there. Click Open. And then just locate where you saved it at. In this case, we saved it right here. Sample 1. All right. And that should pull it up here for us, the file. And there it is. Okay, so you can see right here again, we got kick, hats, and cymbals ready to rock. So let's try that again. Let's go right back in here. There we go. So now we got sounds. All right, so let me open that back up, the drums, and see if we can go back to what we were messing with earlier. Let's try this one here, Dog Hop Kit. So there we go, we got some kicks, some beats. And now's where your creativity comes into play. So I kind of like that. So let's start with that one right there. And then all I'm gonna do, right? So let's say you want to make a loop. Okay, this is where you're making your own loops. So you can see right here, that's the start of it. You just drag that little thing. So like if you want to go 2 bars, you just put it on 2 bars. If you want to go 4 bars, you put it on 4 bars. In this case, we'll stick with 4 bars. And then you click that little record button right there. You put it where the bar starts, and then right up here, right up here is a little loop thing. Okay, so you're gonna click that little loop thing, boop, and what that does, that'll kind of set that as your process. Okay, or not your process, but your how far your loop is gonna be. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. So I could use that for a hook or just a verse or whatever part of the song I'm working with at the time. And then what I usually do is you can leave it there for now, and then let's see, we'll just leave it on 1/16. And then you just find on your keyboard where you want to, whatever sound you want to start with. We're on the kick track right now. As you can see right there, we're recording on the kick track. So for now, we're just going to do a kick beat, kick and snare. All right, and then another important thing to know is you got to come down here. All right, I guess you don't have to, but I recommend. All right, you set your click track. So you click that to turn it on, and then this is your pre-count. So that'll give you a beat, a little couple clicks on the metronome before you actually start to record. So it kind of gets your head in the groove. So I always recommend turning that on. And then this is your tempo of the track. Right now it's set on 120 beats per minute. So let's see what that sounds like. You just hit the space bar. So. Alright, so we can rock with that. Kind of like that. So that makes it simple. And like I said, this is just where your imagination comes into play. So let's get something on the track here. So basically you got all that set up. And to get to that, all I did is you click devices, virtual keyboard, and then this little piece right here pops up. And then that's how you get to your tempo. Alright, your tempo and your metronome settings and things. So with that being said, once I got this set up, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click record. And then I start my beat. Alright, so once that goes right over there, you can see it creates all those little dots. All right, and now you have to sequence it. All right, so the way I have mine set up right now, all I gotta do is double click that, and then I go up here to the top, audio, or not audio, I'm sorry, edit. All right, I click edit, and then I go down to quantize. All right, and then you can set it up to where you can quantize at 1/8 beats or 1/16 beats, however fast your track is. If you're dealing with hats, you might need to get down to 1/32 or faster, or 1/16, whatever you want to do. You just got to play around with it, all right? But once you hit quantize, watch what happens to these little things. All right, see how they move? So what that does now is it's lining up the beat in perfect timing to your metronome. So watch, let's give this a sample and see what it sounds like. Let's play it back. Alright, so you can see some of that was a little bit off. So if it's a little bit off, I just undo quantize. You can go down here and switch it. Let's switch it to 1/8. See what that does. Okay, there we go. So we're back in there. Or if it doesn't line up right doing that, you can actually double click it, and then you can go in here and, let me go back. I don't know if I got that on there for you now. But you just double click the track, and then it opens up this little screen. You can actually physically click each one of these little pieces and move them around. All right, you just have to adjust your quantize to, the portion that you need to be able to line it up to where it lines up right with the timing, if that makes sense. So you'll understand what I'm saying when you get in here and play around with it. So let's try it and see if this plays back right. There we go, sounded right. So there we go. So we got a hook right there, all right, or a verse or whatever, bridge, whatever part of the song you want. All right, so now let's add our next layer. Let's go to the hi-hats. All right, and again, you could put it on 1/16, whatever. Obviously, we would have either had to retrack that at 1/16, or I would have had to go in and move the pieces around to get it to quantize. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if that's just a Cubase thing, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm not sure. Like I said, I try to learn something new every day, but this is what works for me. So let's get some hats on here. So let's find a hat that we like. So I'm going to click the hats track. And let's find us a hat. So we're going to go right in here. We can keep the same. Alright, so we'll keep that same dog hop kit. And it's on loop right now. As soon as you have that little purple thing right up here selected, it automatically puts it as a loop. So we can kind of play around. Just let it repeat itself. Figure out what you want to do. So you see I'm kind of just going around here. There we go. Alright, so let's try that. So I kind of like the sound of that hat right there. So we'll stick with that one. Alright, and for this case, I'm going to put this on 1/16 right up here. And we're going to hit the record button. Got everything set up. I know where I'm working with on my keyboard. And we're going to go ahead and record. So here we go. Got my click on. And here we go. Alright, so we'll leave it with that and see how this sounds. Sometimes if you're timing it right, you gotta go back and try it again, or just mess around to quantize, or you gotta get in there and go move it around by double clicking it like I was showing you. Sounds pretty good. Bam. Alright, so we got a hook there. Now let's say if I wanted to do so let's say I wanted to do some cool stuff like this, like start chopping some beats up. So like find your spot. Alright, so let's listen to that one more time here. Alright, so I like that spot right there. So we're going to go right here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. Right there. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on that. Well, we'll click on it. And then we're going to go up here to edit. I'm going to click functions. And then I'm going to click repeat. And you can click how many times you want to repeat. So we're going to say 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. All right. And bam. And now watch what this does. So as it comes through, you can see where I added all those little repeats in there. See how that works? That's how you start chopping beats. So watch this. Alright, so there we go. So now we got ourselves a nice little hook there, right? So let me close that screen out. So there you go. You can see we got 2 tracks. And now I'm gonna change that from cymbals. We're gonna make this bass instead. So we're gonna go to a bass. And I'm gonna add 2 more tracks. We're gonna do a bass track and then let's say some kind of synthesizer, something like that. I don't even know what kind of beat we're making here. We're just demonstrating some stuff. So I'm gonna click right down here, open this up, because right now it's on Groove Agent 1. We're gonna switch that.
we're gonna go to oh, let me close that out. Click the wrong thing. All right, so we're gonna go over here, and right now we're gonna try Prologue. We'll try this. All right, so this opens up another VST plugin. Oh, look, cool. It's already set on bass. So let's try something like this. See what this sounds like. Alright, that's cool for now. Let's try that just for fun. There's about a couple thousand different bass sounds you can use in there, but I like this one for now. Alright, I like that. That sounds fun for now. So let's go ahead and track that beat. So I got it set up already, and I'm recording. So let's rock and roll with this thing. Here we go. All right, bam. So there we go. So all I did there is I did a two bar beat. We didn't go the full 4 bars. All right. So again, once I do that with MIDI keyboard, then all I got to do is sequence it. All right. So you can either double click it and then go to edit sequence, or you can just go to edit the way I have it set up, hit sequence, bam, and then it should be in perfect sync. So let's try that. Bam, there we go. Bam. All right, so we got that. And now if I want to keep that loop going, all I got to do is click on it, hit edit functions, repeat. I can repeat it as many times as I want. In this case, we're just going to do 1. So that'll repeat. And now we're going to add one more track. So add track, instrument track, and we'll go here. I like this one. This has some cool synthesizers on it. So we're going to pick kind of a lead synth or whatever. Let's find something cool. Let's see. I'll try like a sawtooth or something like that. See what this sounds like. Alright, sure, why not? Sometimes you can double up on these things. Like I could play the same melody but with 2 or 3 different sounds and give it a really cool sound. So let's try this real quick. There we go. So you just kinda gotta play around until you get it. I think we're ready. And you can get as technical as you want on these things. You just got to start going at it. So we're going to go ahead and track that down. Alright, so I'm going to go here to Mix Console. Some devices. Mix Console. Alright, and then that brings you down here to this. So this is where you set your output. So you can see right here we're clipping a little bit. You got that red down here? So that means we're clipping. So I want to get these down here adjusted. I'm going to save that for a whole nother video because there's a whole lot of information here. The goal is to get this over here at about 0.6. So you got to leave yourself a little bit of room for mastering. All right. So in this case, I'm going to silence everything. I'm going to mute everything. All right, and then we're going to start with our kick. So. And I'll save this for another video too, but I can come in here and work on the equalization. There's a million different effects that I can do, plugins over here. You know, I can change all kinds of stuff in here. Right. As far as for equalization, that's a whole nother class. So for now, we're just gonna keep it a simple mix. So you know, it's a hip hop track, so we want that bass to be hitting a little bit. So we'll put it on there. Add the hats in here. Let's use a quick setup here. Let's say I want to increase my highs a little bit. I'll just click that. Alright, So just as an example for you there. There's a lot of other ways I can do that. Alright. And then we want to add in our bass. Synth. Let's say we want to add a little bit of a delay on here. We'll do a solo delay. Put it on 1/8. Or if you don't like it, you can just remove it. Whatever. You just gotta play around. Alright, and then we'll give ourselves a little bit of room, so we're gonna compress it a little bit. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of my mastering software. I use the Voxengo Elephant. I like this one a lot. And then for just time's sake, we'll put it on, let's say standard plus 3 dB. So that increases our loudness. You probably heard that a little bit. And now I'm no longer clipping because it compresses it. And I can actually bring it up. So you want to get this final output here to as close as -0 as you can get it without clipping. And then you can compress it if you need to. But for today's video, I think that does it. Just about does it. So there you go. That's how you make a beat from scratch. And that sounds pretty good. I might actually use that for something in the future. Maybe in the future I can show you a video on vocals. So for time being, thanks for watching. And I'm JT at JT Productions. And please like and subscribe and follow me. And we'll make some more videos in the future together. Alright, take care. JT out.